Namaskar. Hello everyone. I'm Sudhnya Muriye, the Artistic Director and Founder for Sudhnya Dance Academy and Sudhnya Dance Creations. Since 1997, I have been teaching Indian classical dance style, Bharatanatyam, to all the young kids, adults and youngsters who love performing the dance, who love learning about culture of India, and just generally love being in community, sharing their culture through dance. Bharatanatyam comes from south part of India. It traces back to almost 2 BC to 5 BC. It is based through the book called as Natya Shastra. Shastra means science, which means the science of dramaturgy. This book involves music, dance, drama, which again goes back to actions, expressions, footwork, hand gestures, and much more. Bharatanatyam, as I define, can be taken as an acronym. Bha stands for Bhakti, which is devotion. Ra stands for Rati, which is passion. And Ta for Tapasya, which is contemplation. Natyam, the art form. And this is why I call this as an art form, which is also a way of life. Everybody needs to dedicate their life to achieve something, and Bharatanatyam gives you the way, a discipline and grace to lead your life, along with a lot of beautiful art form to represent the culture. Through this art form, we tell a lot of stories, traditional, contemporary, stories that have lots, at the end, a lot of values and morals to express. How do we tell these stories? With different hand gestures and facial expressions. What it defines is there are 9 universal emotions, and I will quickly show them. The first one is love, then sadness, laughter, valor, fear, disgust, anger, surprise, and peace. These emotions are experienced by every person in different shades and tinges. And this is what the stories are all about. Traditionally, the stories are being told, the mythological stories about gods and goddesses that we worship in temples and in our houses and in our hearts. The origin of this art form is from the temples. Around in mid-30s, a great artist named Rukmini Arundel brought it onto the stage, into the community and to the world. She designed the costume, the jewelry. She also defined the repertoire of the dance form. Every dancer starts at around age 5 or 7 and moves on with her journey of learning this art form, which becomes a lifetime journey. The basic training goes on for minimum 7 to 8 years, whereupon they do a debut performance, which is called as Arangetram, which means performing on the stage for the first time. Again, as the life has changed and things have evolved, the performers do perform before their Arangetram. But what is so special about Arangetram? They perform by themselves for 2 hours, and which takes at least a year and a half or 2 to get ready for that stamina, strength, and understanding. As this art form is not just about stories, it's about also knowing the meanings, the expressions, the philosophy, and if needed, even the spirituality behind every character presented. For instance, if I have to show a god named Krishna who plays flute, yes, an action of holding a flute can be Krishna, but it could be anyone. What is important is how I raise my eyes, how I look like Krishna, at least try. And then the interaction of characters. Traditionally, it used to be performed as a solo piece. So you are the one who is playing the character, and you also show the interactions given by the other character. For instance, again, if Krishna is looking at a gopi who is a milkmaid and says, "Come," he or she who is performing has to imagine what the gopi has said. And if the gopi says, "No, I am not going to come," then Krishna reacts. He says, "Why?" So it's all about really understanding the character, not by itself, but also understanding what the story, how will the story develop? How will the other person, the other character, who is completely invisible, but yet to be understood? And this is what I feel, this makes it like a 3D art form to me when I perform. Going ahead, it is also important that the dancers understand the values that they learn from this art form. Can they implement in their life? Can they use them in their life? Absolutely. Many of my students have taken this art form in schools, public schools, even to universities, to express to the career zone that they are in. For instance, I had a student who went into medical school, and at one instance she called me and said, "Teacher, do you think I can perform as a welcome dance to welcome the new students who are coming in medical school?" And she said, "Can I use a different song than our traditional song?" And I said, "Absolutely. As long as your intentions are right, as long as you're sharing joy with everyone, any language can be used to express what you want to say through your gestures and facial expressions." I teach Bharatanatyam, Indian classical dance style, at Sudhna Dance Academy and Sudhna Dance Creations in Richmond, New Westminster, and in Surrey.